The knockout round of the World Cup kick off in style as France and Argentina face off tomorrow. But who comes out on top, Griezmann or Messi?
Last time Uruguay and Portugal faced one another, Ronaldo, Suarez, and Cavani were all twinkles in their mother's eyes. Saturday, they each hope to do their mothers proud by powering their team to the last 8.
And after 3 games played, we'll be giving our group stage grades for Team Messi, Team Ronaldo, and yes, Team Neymar too. Now, Jeremy's having World Cup withdrawal symptoms. We all are. We're going to pull ourselves together. We're going to get through this because we're here for you on the Extra Russia.
After 16 straight days of glorious footballing action, today is the day that the bills are getting paid, the trip to the grocery store is made, and the laundry is finally getting completed. All before we get back to football on Saturday with the knockout rounds. Very exciting.
Welcome in to Extra Russia. We've got a decent 5-a-side team tonight.
I think
Jeremy St. Louis, myself, Kay Murray, we're anchoring. And Dre Cordero's the playmaker in the middle of the park, bringing the best out of Phil Shane and Ray Hudson. So they will be with us throughout the show. We'll hear from them in just a moment. But let's get started. Team Messi, Team Ronaldo, a regular feature during the regular season here on the Extra. But it's even better during the World Cup because Team Neymar enters the fray. Here's Gabriel Amado with a look back on how the group stage fared for the trio.
Someone missed a PK, another missed everything under the sun, and the other stepped up when his team needed him most. Let's break this round. Team Messi versus Team Ronaldo versus Team Neymar battle down. Ronaldo and Portugal were up first. A win or draw against Iran was enough to send them through. And in dramatic fashion, a seleção pulled it off. No thanks to Ronaldo, though. It was a Quaresma Trivela that put Portugal up 1-0, and with the opportunity to make it 2-0. Ronaldo's penalty was saved. A page right out of Messi's Russia 2018 manual. But Team Ronaldo held on to a 1-1 draw and second place in Group B. Breaking news in the Messi camp. Lionel Messi has touched down in Russia. Touching down, ironically, with 3 fabulous touches. Left thigh, left foot, and a shot with his weaker right foot. Messi net his first goal of the tournament to fire Argentina to a 1-0 lead over Nigeria in style. The world went nuts. Messi got on his knees, and although it was Rojo with the eventual late-game winner, Messi was the main man. Messi's goal not only marked the 100th at the World Cup in Russia, but marked the 100th stadium Messi has scored in, and makes him the first player to score as a teen, in his 20s, and in his 30s at the World Cup. The bar was set high, and onto Team Neymar versus Serbia we go. Paulinho and Thiago Silva did the business, scoring Brazil's 2 goals in their 2-0 win over Serbia. Neymar assisted the second, but that's about it. The spaghetti hair was back, and the universe simply did not want him to score. Ronaldo and Neymar say thank you to your teammates. Messi wins match day 3. And now we're officially tied at 1 win apiece. To the knockout stage we go.
Great stuff, Gabby. Here's our best 11 from the group stage in a 4-1-2-3 or 4-3-3, depending on how you look at it. Some tough choices here, but also some not-so-tough choices. And on the heels of Team Messi, Ronaldo, Neymar, we asked Phil and Ray to give us some letter grades for the trio. For more on that, over to Dre Cordero.
Thanks so much, Jeremy. The 3 biggest names in world football, all 3 of them are through to the knockout stages. And to talk about them, the 2 biggest names in American soccer commentary, Phil Shane and Ray Hudson. You guys are going to give each of these 3 guys a grade, and I'm going to pseudo-grade your grade. So let's start with Lionel Messi. Phil?
For me, I would say a B, and that's because he got caught up with all of his work in match 3. Okay. And the scary thing, I think, for Argentina's opponents, He's still got a few more tests to come, and he might just be ready for them.
Ray, he might have just scored the goal of the tournament with that 2 touches before he hit the ground.
For me, he did. It was absolutely the best goal in the World Cup. But, he still brings gasps and oohs and ahs every time he touches the ball. He's still light years ahead of all of his teammates, but they've let him down. And he hasn't been at his best, let's be honest. I mean, there's been a lethargy in his body language, and he needs to find something else, unquestionably. So I would give him a B+.
Yeah, especially the second game when you talk about being a little lethargic. But that goal comes at the perfect moment. Game 3 early on, lets them rest.
True Messi genius at its best. It truly was.
The one guy that did make that best 11 of the group stage still alive, Cristiano Ronaldo. Phil?
For me, I would say an A. But he's got to watch out because the last game, we have the missed penalty that almost cost Portugal advancing into the knockout stage. Yep. But they've asked him to do certain things, which is to get into area, take shots, create scoring opportunities. He's done it.
Yeah. Messi left it late. Ronaldo got all his work done early with the hat trick against Spain.
It wasn't just his goals. I keep telling you, Jim, it wasn't just his goals. It was his overall performance. Yep. I mean, he hit the ground like an old drag racing car, the burning rubber. I mean, he was inspirational to the entire Portugal team against the hardest team and probably the favourite to win the World Cup now that this bracket's broken down. Against Morocco, not so much. And then against Iran, not so much again. And that's why I give him an A-. Okay. His pièce de résistance was a free kick that should be hung up in the Louvre as footballing art.
So a B, B- for Messi, an A- for Cristiano Ronaldo. Neymar enters the picture. Neymar, Phil.
And this, I think, is going to cause perhaps a few arguments. I wanted to give him an I for incomplete because he still has the rest of the tournament to go, but they said I had to give him a grade. I'm going to give him a C. And I know statistically we're talking about one of the best players in this tournament, but that's if it's Team Neymar. It's not. It's Brazil. And I think too often the ball gets to Neymar, and he thinks about Neymar and not Brazil.
How are we justifying Neymar's grade being lower than Messi's, though?
I don't think he's shown as much as Messi has when he's got the ball. And also, I think his theatrics have really pushed a lot of people around the world away. And we know that he's a real antagonist with the ball, but we haven't seen the impact. It's been more Coutinho that's been the show stealer. By Neymar's standards, and we've seen him play absolutely stardust football. Right. I don't know if we've seen it that in this World Cup. And again, with all of the rolling and the theatrics and the feigning, that seems to diminish him a little bit. And
that's exactly right, though. See, I think that's hurting the perception of his actual production.
Right.
Because we attach this stuff that's not football related because he's the one doing it.
But I think also, even the times where he has some success, he's slowing things down, looking for himself. When you look at Coutinho, it's whatever the first option is. I would also say you look at Messi, Argentina's not winning without him. Portugal, they're not winning without Ronaldo. I think Brazil could win without Neymar.
He needs to be more focused and resolute with Neymar, for sure. And he's a C for me.
Here's a handful of guys who cannot be more focused or resolute because they're out of the competition. You saw the best 11 of players still alive. We've put together a best 11 of players who have been sent home. And we'll start with the goalkeeper, Cho Young-woo, who was absolutely brilliant in all 3 games for South Korea, including the one against Germany. Luis Advíncula makes it. For some reason, he's on the right instead of the left. Kolarov with Koulibaly make up the backline. A couple of Nigerians, Ahmed Musa and Gigi.
I think Musa, they really missed him in the first game. If they would have used him more, they might still be here. But he was probably one of the more dangerous players in this tournament. And again, you take a look at those guys, they all impressed.
Yeah, a little love for Andre Carrillo as well. Maybe the most exciting player to crash out in the group stage of the World Cup. Heung-min Son there as well. Wabi Kazri was a pleasant surprise. 2 assists, 2 goals as well. Playing as a center forward when he's normally an attacking midfielder. That's the best 11 to crash out in the group stage. Jeremy?
Thanks, Trey. In terms of how the Confederations fared overall through the group stage, the highest percentage, perhaps not surprisingly, goes to CONMEBOL. 80% of their teams going through. That's 4 out of 5 teams making it through to the last 16. UEFA had the most teams overall, 10 of their teams of the 14 going through, giving them a percentage of 71%. Just 1 CONCACAF team making it out of 3, so 33%. And then you have 20% for the Asian Confederation and Africa. 0%. Obviously, that is something that is a bit of a concern. Surprising to you, Dre?
Well, let's focus in a little bit on that 0%, right? Because Africa, for the first time since Spain '82, no teams through to the knockout stage. The three North African teams were out before they played the third game. Morocco, Egypt, and Tunisia all crashed after 2 games. Nigeria and Senegal out leaked.
And Senegal by the harshest of forms. When you take a look at this, though, there has always been one team that impresses. Ghana, Senegal, perhaps most recently, Nigeria going back in 1994. But what have they actually won? I mean, getting to a semifinal, Senegal, not bad. But everyone else, yet they have 5. I think CONCACAF has done quite well, considering they only have 3.
I think you're a little harsh not seeing better stuff about Morocco. I thought Morocco played some very, very good football. You talk about Senegal being unlucky. For me, Morocco were very unfortunate. I love their style of play. I love their heart, their pluck, their spirit. Morocco was great.
And of course, this time didn't include the likes of Ivory Coast or Ghana, two of the biggest teams in the continent. Jeremy?
I'll take this one, actually.
Well,
if you regularly watch the show, you'll know that Tancredi Palmieri can roughly speak 1,000 words per minute. But they say that a picture paints 1,000 words too. So here's a combination of the two to describe the group stages.
We are with the artists of Moscow, Nastya and Zvieta, because we have to understand who have been the best so far, starting from the best team, Croatia. The surprise of the World Cup, well, from the group of Germany, there are things coming, but actually, in the group where there were Senegal, Colombia and Poland, everybody was thinking 2 of those 3, and then came the 4th one. Nobody was betting on them, nobody thought about them. Japan. So much composure, so much experience, really such a surprise. And now, up to you, Belgium. Best player, Luka Modric, Harry Kane, what performances. But they have been helped by a fantastic team around. There is only one player who got all the points for his team, who actually has lifted his teammates and that got a leadership that can change this World Cup. Has to be Cristiano Ronaldo. Colors, party, Caribbean rhythm, it was Panama. The best fans in this World Cup. It's true, Argentinians were loud as always, but Panama, 6,000 traveling from Central America, bringing the Caribbean parties on Russian beaches. A proper masterwork, the best goal of the tournament, the goal of Lionel Messi. And this World Cup could become a masterpiece. Nastya and Zvieta, beIN Sports, Moscow.
Great stuff, Tank. Now, on this very day in 1986, Maradona lifted the World Cup with Argentina, but we knew that trivia question would prove to be too easy, so we're sticking to another on-the-day topic and asking, which World Cup player signed for Manchester United on this day in 2011? The answer coming up after the break, but still to come on the show. 2 under-par powerhouses kicking off tomorrow, France and Argentina, but which side makes it to the quarters? Portugal and Uruguay is Saturday's other game. It's no less intriguing. Cristiano, Cavani, Suarez, Godin, what a game we have to talk about. And we tell you which World Cup star Chelsea are chasing the signature of.
There we come as one. We stand together, proud of where we're from. Be one word, baby. There we come as one. We stand together, no matter where we're from. Be one word, baby.
Welcome back to Extra Russia. If you thought that the group stages were good, then just look at what the result of them is. Some absolutely brilliant round of 16 clashes. 2 of the best of them coming up tomorrow. France against Argentina first. Antoine Griezmann on one side, Lionel Messi on the other. Didier Deschamps' men have already played in the Kazan Arena this World Cup, but they spent Friday training at Central Stadium in the city. The French have not lost to South American opposition at the FIFA World Cup for 40 years.
Well, according to reports, Lionel Messi looked pretty sharp in training for Argentina Friday as they put the finishing touches on their game plan. Messi and his teammates were said to be in good spirits ahead of the pressure-filled matchup in the last 16. A sharp contrast to the disarray that dominated the side after the opening 2 games. The side taking time to practice penalty kicks, an eventuality that would not be unexpected with these two evenly matched sides.
Portugal are hoping to be the first team to score against Uruguay in this World Cup. That game's in Sochi, which was the scene of Portugal's 3-3 opening draw with Spain. So in terms of goal scoring, the signs are good. Cristiano Ronaldo already has 4 goals under his belt, and he'll be doing his best to add to that tally.
Uruguay's Luis Suarez insists he's ready to face off against Cristiano Ronaldo in the last 16, having scored in each of his side's last 2 group games. Suarez will lead the line with Edinson Cavani, but the story of this team has been about the defense. Skipper Diego Godin will have the responsibility of trying to shackle Ronaldo on Saturday as Uruguay look to advance.
Now, we know that our beIN Sports viewers share our passion for soccer, but most of the time you only get to see those of us who are on screen. So let me tell you, our production team is just as obsessed with the beautiful game.
We're going to win the World Cup.
I hope so.
I don't know why he's laughing, because we're literally going to win the World Cup.
I'm upset.
Colombia, papá.
Portugal all the way. I just thought we deserved more, and I'm upset.
Acknowledge my existence. Speak to me.
Talk to us.
Message us. Honestly, any communication while we're playing is just annoying.
Oh,
Look in my direction. You know, the basics.
The actual worst thing that you could do is film us while Iran is taking a penalty in the final minutes of the match.
Kevin Egan.
People come in here and they start rubbing things in your face when your team loses or if they're not doing too good.
Best fans,
Portugal.
probably not.
Have you ever seen us belt our anthem? As armas, as armas.
Sobre terra e sobre o mar.
Most annoying fans, Argentina and Colombia. I'm sorry.
The worst fans. Portugal, probably.
Colombians.
Argentina.
Colombians. Have you seen them in this office? We don't get any work done.
They think they won already. It's crazy. So I don't know if you've seen the guys here, like Eric and Bruno. Oh my God.
Full ones you want.
Portugal, ale. Portugal, ale.
You win 1 Euro Cup and you think.
In this World Cup, I don't think there's any annoying fans.
Because Jesus Christ.
Portugal, ale. Portugal, ale. Portugal, ale. Portugal, ale.
El Chucky Lozano.
Colombia, tierra querida, himno de fe y alegría.
I just want the world to burn.
Campeões!
Campeões! Nós somos campeões!
Love it. Time to check in on today's most popular posts on social media. Today's hub is doing its best to fill the game void, football, fashion and fairground rides. Now, this was fun stuff. Michi Batshuayi, why do we laugh at another's misfortunes? Even his teammate, Alex Witzel, did. He says, guys, it's all good now between them, between the post and the ball that hit him in the face. No hard feelings. Some fun stuff there happening and some replays as well of other people managing to make it happen too.
Well, you know what? Even in training, Cristiano Ronaldo loves winning, as evidenced here by this free kick challenge he had in training. And other players went to try and do it, and they could not even come close to replicating Ronaldo's brilliance.
Look at Isabel Kovacic. She's married to Matteo and supports her husband every step of the way. But here she is going one better than just wearing the Croatia shirt. She's had some custom-made Croatian kit-style jeans. I'm going to see about getting Jeremy some Maple Leaf-style jeans.
Well, it is the Canadian tuxedo. Jesse Lingard posted a funny video of England players hopping off a roller coaster. The players were not all strapped in, and they heard a horn and thought that the coaster was about to go. And so off they jumped. Perhaps staying on the merry-go-round is the best advice for England at this point. Oh, with the World Cup field now cut in half, a number of players will try to take advantage of their play on the transfer market. Some others who are still alive are prominent parts of Friday's transfer tracker. Marwan Fellaini, Belgium's midfielder, has re-upped with Manchester United for another 2 years. The midfielder thanking manager Jose Mourinho for having faith in him. Fellaini scored 20 goals in 156 appearances since his move from Everton in 2013. Still with United, manager Mourinho has told the club to sign AC Milan defender Leonardo Bonucci post-haste. The 31-year-old emerged emerging as one of the manager's top targets this week, and Mourinho wants to avoid an auction, telling the higher-ups to lock the Italian international down quickly. Chelsea are said to be all in for Russia's emerging star, Alexander Golovin. The Blues think the 22-year-old could be the next Luka Modric, and they'll pay $35 million US to get him. Golovin could further increase his transfer value with another stellar performance versus Spain in the knockout stages at the World Cup. After confirming his departure from Arsenal on social media, midfielder Jack Wilshere is expected to finalize a move to Fenerbahce early next week. The 26-year-old was linked with moves to Italy and Spain, but has opted to join the Turkish Giants. Wilshere put his career back on track last season, but did not do enough to convince incoming Gunners boss Unai Emery to keep him around. And Major League Soccer side Seattle Sounders have signed Peru forward Raul Ruidiaz as their designated player. Ruidiaz was confirmed to be coming to MLS 2 weeks ago after being released by Mexican side Morelia. He will make his league debut when the secondary transfer window opens on July the 10th.
Now, did you get the answer to our trivia question? Which World Cup player signed for United on this day in 2011? What if I'd said which World Cup goalkeeper?
There it is.
You would have probably guessed that it was this man, David De Gea. Well done for those of you who got this. On this day in 2011, the Spanish goalkeeper signed for Manchester United. It's time to take a short pause now. We focus on the games and the big names that will feature in Saturday's games. Messi, Griezmann, Suarez and Cristiano, to name but a few.
Welcome back to the program. Let's finish things off as we always do with predictions. We start with France versus Argentina. Phil.
Contain Messi, pressure Banega, over on Mascherano. Conte, great game, France.
All right, Raymond.
Time for the stars to shine. France have more stars than this Argentina team. I'm going with France.
That was the turning point for Argentina in the last game. I'm going for Argentina in this one.
The two teams least happy with their manager into the knockout stage. Argentina by sheer virtue of Messi.
And I said this a while ago that Argentina were going to make it to the World Cup final, that they're going to win the whole thing. Argentina for me over France.
Nice stuff.
And for the second game, Portugal versus Uruguay, we start with Raymond.
Uruguay are a better team. They've got a more lethal strike force. They're a better combined team than Portugal. I'm going with Portugal because the way this World Cup is, cuckoo. Portugal.
Phil.
Everything he just said gives me the reason to say Uruguay plus Laxalt.
Jeremy.
Uruguay.
Cordero.
Also Uruguay.
I'm going for Portugal. Did you see our Portuguese fans? They do not want to suffer their wrath. Thank you so much for joining us on the show tonight. We will be back same time, same place tomorrow, but it will be back to an hour as we look to those last 16 games. Make sure you join Jeremy and Kevin Egan. See you later.
Good night.
Here we come as one, proud of where we're from. Here we come as one, we stand together no matter where we're from. Being one world, baby. Give me love, give me love.